to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're on agenda item number 3A and the presentation of the Beautification Award to George Christian. Laura, are you going to take this for us?
I am going to take this one.
Thank you very much. Laura Pellegrino.
So on behalf of Keep Woodland Park Beautiful, I'm here as the staff liaison, and I would just like to let you know that Keep Woodland Park Beautiful is an affiliate of Keep America Beautiful. It is a committee of this council. It's a committee, a working committee of 9 to 15 members, county volunteers, city volunteers appointed by city council to work within our city with the goal of beautifying our city. It's to protect our community, our wildlife, and our area's natural beauty by enlisting volunteers, by promoting responsible handling of trash through education, recycling, and enforcement. They encourage enhancement of public views. They recognize community improvements. They recommend to council on policy, and they do other projects based on council's request or the city manager's requests. So that's the Keep Woodland Park Beautiful Committee. And their programs that you may have heard of are the Adopt a Spot, where volunteers are recruited to go out and clean certain right-of-ways within the city. We have an Adopt a Garden program where volunteers are recruited to maintain city flower beds. We have an educational outreach that deals with bear and trash, which we call Bear Aware. We also have a youth outreach and mentorship program for youth ambassadors to join our committee. We also have Beautification Awards, which is an incentive that we hope for developers and for residents and for businesses to beautify their properties, which is why we're here tonight. But the city also, the Keep Woodland Park Beautiful Committee also does special projects like the annual cleanup, which is coming up quite in a few weeks on June 8th. Everyone should have received a flyer and advertising this event on their dais, and if not, there are some in the back, and we're publishing it on the website, and we're trying to get it out there to anyone and everyone who might be interested in helping us do a citywide cleanup, and again, that's on June 8th this year. Other projects we've done, we've painted the baggage building, the depot at Bergstrom Park. We've also done the mural and the handrail at Highway 24 at the underpass. But tonight, we are here for their incentive award, which they call the Beautification Award. It's a Keep Woodland Park Beautiful program that acknowledges and recognizes businesses and or property owners throughout the city that go the extra mile to maintain an attractive building or site and that promote an inviting and positive image within the city. There have been over 45 businesses and residents that have been acknowledged through this Beautification Award over the years since 2005. Tonight we are here to acknowledge and recognize Cottage Creek LLC. They are exemplary builders within the city. These are some examples of some of the homes that they've created. They have a very unique and distinctive style. They are our current and resident infill developers. They take vacant lots that have been platted in the 1800s, 1899, and they build these unique structures that fit into these lots. A lot of these lots are very challenging, and this group of builders have stepped up to the challenge. They've been in front of the Board of Adjustment numerous times to vary setbacks, to deal with the constraints that a lot might have within infill. They work primarily in two neighborhoods in the city. Where they're in Dual Road, in that area right here, just south of downtown, and then just a little bit east of downtown and east of Dual is the Willow Creek. So some of these houses, like this first house that you see here, is one of the houses that they refurbished and redid up in the Dual Creek, or the Dual neighborhood. This is the Willow Creek area, just north of Cavalier Park. Again, the Dual neighborhood, and this was a house just in the Willow Creek area, Willow Street area, that they refurbished and did. And they're building 4 more houses. They have 4 more lots, and they've built throughout the city at least 8 properties in this style, and they are revamping and redeveloping neighborhoods in the city of Woodland Park. And Keep Woodland Park Beautiful is honored and privileged to acknowledge all the work that they do within the city.
Great, thank you. Should we have the Christians come forward?
They are here tonight, and I would love it if they would come forward and speak.
So would I. We'll let them speak first.
While they're coming up, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to comment, if you don't mind.
Please.
I've shown some of these homes to potential buyers, and they are exceptionally nice and have been received very well by buyers. Just not quite what I had for buyers that to fit their needs, but they were very impressed with the homes. They're lovely.
Who would like to start, Mr. Christian or Mr. Christian?
Let me. I would just like to say we're honored. We didn't know that that award existed, so that wasn't our driving force. I think our name, Cottage Creek Living, explains it. That's who we are. Thanks to Sally, we build on postage stamps, little tiny lots. Sally's got a whole stack of them in there, and they keep kind of showing up. They're difficult, they're hard, but we couldn't do this. We're the visionaries, and our subs are the guys that make it happen. But truth be told, these are difficult lots. They look simple. They're 50 by 150, but it seems that every one of them has got its own unique set of circumstances that might involve city engineer, might involve utilities, might involve Laura and Sally and Phil, and so we'd like to congratulate you guys for the quality of staff that you have put together and are continuing to put together. Not because they're pushovers, because they're not. They're tough, and they know the regs, and they stand up for the city's position, and I've experienced that over my life of cities that do that, and that's their job. But at the same time, they're fair. And what I mean by that is that they look at the problem in the difficult lot, and within the regulations and what the law allows and what the city's requirements are, they help. They don't just leave us alone to go find the solution, but they help to figure that out. And I can't tell you what that means to us. That's why we keep coming back and finding more of these to do. But it's what enables us to be able to continue to build this type look, this cottage look that fits Woodland Park, and kind of gives the historical value. But on the inside, it's a beautiful little home that meets all the normal requirements of young couples and people that want a new home. So thank you for the award. We appreciate that. But we really appreciate the team that's represented by Sally and Laura and Ben and Phil and Kip and the whole group. Because without them and their ability to help us figure out how to make that lot fit the requirements, probably none of these would have happened. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll just ditto that as well. We really do appreciate this staff in Woodland Park. We're grateful because we've been around for a while. I've been here for 23 years, and it's just neat to have not just a small town community feel where you can walk in and talk to these guys. That's rare in a city. You'll walk in, not all the time, but sometimes we can find Kip. But to be able to actually talk and have a meeting when we need to, and then for them to come out and see our sites. And we really do appreciate that. This staff, I think most of the staff has been on our sites at some point for various reasons. But a lot of times they come out and just say, this is cool. I like what you're doing, so keep it up. I appreciate that. But I just want to, real quick, just tell you that 10 years ago, I drove up on Dual Road for the first time. I'd seen it from the highway, but never been up there. And I drove up on Dual Road with my wife, and we looked at Dual, and I thought, this would be a really cool place to do something unique, because it's the view, and it's in town, and there were just these little cabins up there that were kind of dilapidated. And I started talking to friends about Dual Road, and everyone that I talked to knew someone, or they personally had lived on Dual Road in one of those cabins at some point in time. And I've had over 15 people in this community tell me they had lived on Dual Road in those cabins, the ones that we remodeled, the two of those you see up there, at some point or time in their life in Woodland Park. So it's been kind of neat to just see the history of that and be a part of that. But also, we've made friends on Dual Road. And I actually I'm no longer a resident in Woodland Park. I'm actually doing a project. I'm still running Cottage Creek, but I'm doing a project in North Carolina right now. My wife and I are this year, and it's good to come back. I came back for this award, but also came back, and today I had lunch with one of the residents on Dual Road, a gentleman who lives in a little house up there. He's lived there for 10 years, and when we did the first project up there, he came over and introduced himself. And so we're not just excited about building houses in Woodland Park. We do love Woodland Park, and we love the people of Woodland Park. And I'm not gone. I'll be back and forth, but Cottage Creek hopefully is here to stay. We want to continue in the process of beautifying the city as much as we can and be helpful. We want to be helpful. We don't want to be a problem. We want to be helpful to the city and make a living, obviously. But I just appreciate these guys. So thanks to your staff, and thank you guys.
Great.
Thank you.
I might be remiss to not introduce one of our other partners that's here, Sandy Christian, my wife, Ryan's mother, and she's the one that kind of holds down the fort while we do these things.
Great. Let's step over here where they can get a picture of you, if you would. How are you, Ryan? I'm good, man. Good to see you.
Mugshot?
We'll wait on the mugshot. First, I'll just say this, and Laura alluded to it. You two and your company have been exemplary. I think that's a great word. And the fact that you get along so well is a reflection on you guys because you do it the right way. You've been here a long time making a difference in Woodland Park, and it is much appreciated. I'm sure an award like this, none of us do things because they get awarded, but they do things because they want to do what's right, and you two have made Woodland Park a better place to live. And so for that reason, I'll start with this to George and Ryan Christian and the rest of the family. For enhancing single-family neighborhoods in Woodland Park, it's the Beautification Award from Keep Woodland Park Beautiful. So get a picture there with Laura, and I'll get out of the way. And also, I just want to, on behalf of City Council, our entire community, you do special things. We try to do something for you. This is a mayor's pin, and wear it in good health, as my grandma would say, and we really appreciate all you do. Thanks very much.
For a free pass on the next.
You'll have to talk to them. Thank you very much. Okay. Great way to start the meeting. We'll move on to item 3B and Bianca Brian. Welcome, Bianca. Just give us your name and address before you start, if you would, please.
My name is Bianca Brian, and I live at 570 Pembroke Drive, Woodland Park, Colorado. Good evening, everyone, and hello, Mayor, City Council members, and staff. It's good to see you all again. I'm so excited to share with you a little update on Golden Meadows Dog Park. I first want to start by personally inviting you guys to my groundbreaking ceremony on May 16th at 4 p.m. So I'm going to pass this out really quick.
Can we get that?
That's awesome.
Thank you very much. If you want to leave an extra one for Val, you can leave it.
We have one.
We do. We
Okay.
put it in his mailbox.
Good. Thank you.
Hi, Bianca. Good to see you.
Can we bring our dogs to this?
No way.
I hope so, right?
Absolutely. You spelled your name right.
She did.
Thank you, Bianca. Where's your gold medal? Where's your gold medal?
My gold medal?
Medal.
Medal. Oh. You mean the gold award in general?
Yeah.
I'll tell you all about it.
Okay.
So I will explain the Gold Award to those that don't know what it is. I have to find an issue within my community and solve it in a permanent way. And I have noticed that we have many dogs in Teller County, but a lot of owners don't have the time and ability to take them out and exercise them and socialize them. So I have been working with the city, and we're going to be building a dog park to prevent overweight and unsocialized dogs. So you'll each find the personal invitation at your desk. I just want to say that you guys have played a major role in allowing me to use the property at Meadowood Sports Complex. So I'm very grateful for all of you in helping me with my project. Since we last talked, I've been extremely busy. I've been planning multiple events to raise money, including Smooch a Pooch at Starbucks, Mr. Panther at Woodland Park High School, Park State Bank Business After Hours, and Woodland Professional Buildings Business After Hours. And with the help of these events, I've been ordering supplies for the construction May 17th, 18th, and 19th. I've been meeting with the city also to discuss the signs and rules and regulations for the park. And most importantly, I have been planning the grand opening event on June 1st at Meadowood Sports Complex. So for this event, there's going to be a ribbon cutting at 9 a.m. and then directly following that, there's going to be a 1-mile K9 American Ninja Warrior walk and agility course. I'm partnering with T-Crafts with an adoption and pet food pantry for a collection of food and treats for them. So please come and support our local great organizations. For the dog walk and agility course, we are encouraging participants to pre-register. So if you guys want to come, you'll be entered into a raffle for a gift basket and receive a complimentary gift goodie bag and a K9 Ninja Warrior little bandana. Pre-registration is recommended to guarantee a goodie bag, but there will also be registration on the opening event from 8 to 9 a.m. To pre-register, there are 3 locations where you can pick up the registration form, and that's at Woodland Park Parks and Rec building, T-Crafts in Divide, and Dr. Kaufman's office in the professional building. And we will also have some registration forms in the back on the table if you'd like to pick one of those up. Again, I just want to say this dog park really means a lot to me, and I've been working on this project for 2 years now, and I couldn't have done it ever without the support from my city council, Woodland Park, Parks and Rec staff, local businesses, and my community. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Bianca. Council, you have any questions for Bianca? Let me ask you this. I don't know if you alluded to it and I missed it. How far are you along with the process and getting it all set up, fencing and all those kinds of things?
So I've almost raised all the money for supplies except for about $2,500 for fencing. And if I can raise enough money, then we'll be putting in a water station as well. But I'm very close. I'm hoping to do a few more events to finish that money. And then we pretty much ordered all our supplies. I'm going to be building the doggy bag stations this weekend. And then everything will be good to go before construction. So
tell us how much you've raised.
So I actually have all of the cost tracking. So right now I have raised $21,741.
Awesome.
That's amazing. Thank you very much. I can almost guarantee that the people sitting to my right for sure and probably to the left will all be there on June 1st for the opening. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet.
Thanks, Bianca. Good job.
Great job.
Okay, we'll move on, and Don Angel's going to come forward and talk a little bit about hazard mitigation.
Don Angel. I'm the Director of Emergency Management for Teller County. I'm your new counterpart. I'm here to ask City Council for two things. One is a letter of intent to participate, and the second is a letter of commitment of funding. I'll talk about them both. The letter of intent to participate. Teller County, to include City of Woodland Park, City of Victor, and City of Cripple Creek, currently have a hazard mitigation plan. It expires in 2020. FEMA is a relatively quick process, and in order to get the 75-25% grant, which Teller County and its governmental entities come up with 25%, we start now to get the funding through FEMA. So the first letter is a letter of intent to participate. I'm asking that, again, Woodland Park be part of the process. A little background about myself. I've been an emergency manager over in Montrose County, and when I did it over there, I not only included the cities, but I included the special districts. Because if we take a look at Teller County, our special districts, fire districts, ambulance, etc., have a ton of square miles of properties that are also potentially impacted. So for 2020, it will be the special fire districts, EMS districts, the municipal governments, and Teller County as a whole. That helps in a number of ways. The letter of commitment of funding. I never pay cash. I ask for in-kind services, which means show up for 4 meetings. Put your name on the roster, and we include those costs as our in-kind match for the 25%. The grant or the plan is anticipated to cost about $44,000 total. $11,000 of in-kind services from the Teller County governmental entities. I'm just putting it that way. $33,000 comes from FEMA. We will go out for bid to a contractor to write the grant. We will all collectively, or write the plan, we will all collectively review, adopt, and accept the plan. Then it goes to the state to make sure it meets the state's criteria, and then it goes to FEMA for final approval. This occurs every 5 years. We take a look to see if some of our hazards have changed or increased in priority. I can guarantee, I don't know when the party is going to be, but somewhere in Teller County, over the next couple of years, somebody will host a party. And it won't be a good one. But we know that. We know we're going to have wildfires. We know we're going to have the potential for flooding. We know those things. If we do not have a plan in place, we cannot go back to FEMA and ask them for mitigation funding to address those impacts in the future. With a plan in place, then we can begin to develop mitigation activities and go seek federal funding to address the mitigation needs. And that can be up to multi-million-dollar projects. So that's why I'm here tonight. Those two things. A letter of intent to participate and a letter of commitment of in-kind services.
Well, Don, great presentation. You made it clear to me. I had no idea what this was all about. So thank you very much for that. Council, do you have questions? Or Darren, would you like to chime in here? I don't see any reason why this council is going to object to anything you said, but Darren?
You've been participating the last 15 years.
Sure we have.
Yeah, I just wanted Don to come and present to council so you understood what we were asking the mayor is to sign ultimately in this process. The staff, we intend the staff to be that in-kind portion that we'll be donating to the cause. As you know, we have a lot of potential hazards that are here in the county, and we want to be a collaborative partner in that process.
Darren, thank you. You also bring up a very good point. Your average citizens can come to these meetings too, and they count for $25.63 per hour. Okay? So that's an in-kind way to get the buy-in of people who have lived in the communities for a long time. So, yes.
What does that look like in reality? Would they have to show up where for how long?
The meeting locations, because Teller County is somewhat spread out, we will ensure that the contractor hosts multiple meetings at multiple locations for each one of the 4 steps. I was just at 4 Mile Fire last night. Not to be mean, they don't want to come over here for a 2-hour meeting just to go back. Nor do I expect you to go over to 4 Mile Fire District for a 2-hour meeting just to come back. The contractor gets paid very well. They can do that.
Council, do you have any questions? Suzanne, what do we need? Do we need just a consensus, a shake of heads? What would you like?
Jason?
Motion would probably be best because you're looking at committing staff.
I would make a motion that we participate and submit a letter of intent of participation for this lovely gentleman that came to present so well this evening. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Second.
There we go. Suzanne?
Thank you. Case?
Yes.
Harvey?
Yes.
Labar?
Yes.
Levy?
Yes.
Saunier?
Yes.
Sawyer?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
Now do we need a motion to support a letter of commitment? So moved.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Suzanne?
Thank you. Case?
Yes.
Harvey?
Yes.
Labar?
Yes.
Levy?
Yes.
Saunier?
Yes.
Sawyer?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
You bet. In closing, I will say, I'm working with Chief DeMiles and Darren. We're working on a Type 3, Type 4 Emergency Coordination Center team. We're going to host a party. It may be Woodland Parks. It could be the counties. We're going to need to be able to be prepared to manage it for the first 24 to 72 hours, depending upon what's going on in the nation. If nobody else is hosting a party, they'll be here quicker. As a Type 2 and Type 1 incident commander, it could be 72 to 96 hours. So, we are working that. We'll have some meetings coming up, but my full intent is to integrate the cities, the county, the special districts with personnel that can manage incidents. So that's just to keep you apprised. I've given you all a business card. I don't drink coffee. I also go out for water quite a bit. Don't ever hesitate to call. Don't ever hesitate to ask. We'll talk. Happy to help. Thank you.
I do have a question. Do we not have a Type 3 or Type 4 incident command team in the county now?
No, you do not.
I'll be darned. Okay, thank you.
Okay?
It's not good?
It's not the answer you want.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's good to know.
Anyone else? Don, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Well,
Jerry.
one of the things that we talked to Don about too is, and just so that city council is prepared, is that like any as we're coming into this season, that we look to try to do some kind of tabletop exercise with city staff and city council to prepare us for those potential parties that Don has alluded to. So we'll be reaching out at some point in the near future to try to coordinate that with the city council and staff.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks
And
very
I was
much.
the incident commander at the Nash Ranch fire and several others in the past year in the county. So,
Thanks for all you do for us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll move on. Suzanne, should I turn this over to you for
To
additions?
Darren, actually.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
So tonight I just wanted to introduce one of our new employees to City Council and to our community, Amy Jacob. If you could come up. So Amy Jacob was hired in the last, it's actually been a while, but we haven't introduced her yet. If you've not met Amy, Amy is our Human Resources Generalist. She's come in and been well accepted by the staff and is doing a fantastic job. She's given a lot of great input to the staff, and she's a resource that a lot of people are leaning on to help us make human resource decisions. We're going to be talking about potential compensation analysis, and those are things that she's involved in. And I'll let Amy come up and kind of introduce herself and talk about why you wanted to be in Woodland Park, and tell us about your background.
Thanks for having me tonight. I'm so excited to start working for the City of Woodland Park. It's been about 2.5 months that I've been here. It's a great place to work. All of the employees have been amazing. So my background, born and raised in Colorado, actually in Denver. My husband and I moved to Divide in August. Our youngest graduated from high school. So the for sale sign went in 2 days after she graduated. So we were ready to move and kind of slow our life down. My HR experience, my previous job was with GH Phipps Construction Companies. I was their HR manager, just under 500 employees. So this has been quite nice. And I'm just so excited to meet all of you and work for the city.
Well, thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Amy.
And I'll just chime in. I've had a little bit of experience with Amy. We got in trouble together already for talking too loud during a meeting or something. But you joined a great group, obviously, of our senior staff. And Darren, thanks goes to you. As I look around the room, starting with Jason and Amy, and every time we get a new hire, we get better, we get stronger, and so we really appreciate it. And Amy, we're all here for you at any time. Although we're not your boss, but we're here for you if you ever need anything. Okay, you bet. Thank you very much. Congratulations. We're glad to have you. Okay, we'll move on to the consent calendar. Suzanne.
Thank you. Mayor, Council, this evening's consent calendar consists of 3 items. The first item being the April 4th minutes from the previous council meeting. We also have the approval of the March 2019 Statement of Expenditures and the approval of the A1 chip seal contract.
Council, any questions? You got the memo on the A1 chip seal contract. If you have any questions about that, certainly Kip and Ben are here to answer any questions if you like. And if not, we'll just call for a motion to approve the consent calendar. Motion to approve the consent calendar. Thank you.
Second.
Suzanne?
Harvey?
Yes.
Labar?
Yes.
Levy?
Yes.
Saunier?
Yes.
Sawyer?
Yes.
Case?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Ben. This goes a long way in getting it early, and it really, really helps us. So thank you very much. Okay, we move on to public comment on items not on the agenda. I have one person signed up, Colt Simmons. It's going to take a minute to talk to us.
Just one?
That was my way of leading.
Did you want me to set the timer?
Good evening. Colt Simmons, County Assessor. I'm out of my job with 101 West Bennett Avenue out of Cripple Creek, Colorado. I guess my first comment is, listening to Bianca, you know what the great thing is about America? It's Americans. You got to admire that young lady. She's going to be something in her life. It's just amazing. Very, very impressive. As promised, I'll be here about once a quarter, and I have some handouts. Hand these down.
And before I start here, I'd just like to say thank you to all the veterans here, our policemen, sheriffs, first responders. As a retired incident commander, I have a lot of experience there and what those folks do who support the community directly and indirectly. So I do plan to be brief and to the point here. As you may have heard, I think you have from me, we have our little Tiller County Assessor Listens program, where we get together once a month or so and look at different issues. Well, next month is hopefully I'm speaking loud enough. We have reevaluations going on. If you're a property owner, this shouldn't be anything new. Next month, all property owners in this county, along with the state, will receive their NOVs. What do NOVs stand for? Notice of values. And those come out every other year. So in looking at what we have to do out of my office, evaluation, we have done the analytics. We'll be releasing those next week. And then the NOVs go out May 1st according to state law. So I thought, well, let's team up with a great asset in this county, and that's your Rampart Library. It's terrific. And I've been there often. I love libraries. And Michelle Petruzillo, who you all may know, the executive director there, runs that library. So what we decided to do is have public meetings there in their large meeting room next week and on May 1st. And then we'll also be doing some meetings in Cripple Creek in addition to this. But first, we're going to highlight what the library does and all their wonderful programs, and also the fluorescent library. Secondly, I will speak for about 30 minutes on the analytics on what's coming up on the revaluation that we are statutorily required to do. And then we'll be fielding questions during and after that. And then after our presentation, which is a nice PowerPoint, we'll be fielding any other Q&As. So what I want to let you all know is that yes, as part of our transparency program, we're doing this in May and this month. And just as a public service announcement, I wanted to come here, throw this out on the table. And, you know, if people have other issues besides discussing the NOVs and the value of the properties, hey, we're open game. We'll have various people there. I really can't gauge how many people. The large meeting room in the library takes up to 90 folks. I expect between 5 to 90 per meeting, and then about 5 to 30, 5 to 40 in Cripple Creek. But part of my job is transparency and getting the message out for what you're paying for. And the Front Range in the last 2 to 6 years has had an extraordinary increase in value. If you're a property owner, you know this. You know this from your last NOVs. And we just want to make sure the word is out there. If you have any questions and comments. And if people have concerns about the value of their properties, I would love them to come and appeal. We're very good at analytics. We really are. That doesn't mean we walk on water, and we don't. So we're here to support the county, the people here. And if you have any questions, we work for you 110%. And myself, my staff, who are your staff, we're here for you. And anything for the city, for the county. And anyway, are there any questions right now for me to field?
Colt, appreciate you being here. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hope to see you at the library or in Cripple Creek. Take care. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Although there may be a sticker associated with it, appreciate your willingness to share your information and meet with them.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Y'all have a good night.
Okay, I have no one else signed up for agenda item number 6. Would anybody else like to come forward now with public comment? Okay, if not, we'll move on. We have no unfinished business tonight, and we have no Ordinances on initial posting. We do have one public hearing. Before we go to the public hearing, I'll read this statement. Council members use electronic devices to access the materials relevant to the public hearing before us. Be assured that it is the common practice of this City Council that these devices are not being used for texting, emailing, or other communications during this public hearing. That said, I will turn this over to Chrissy Stapleford.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This evening we have a public hearing for a new fermented malt beverage liquor license. Our applicant is Vitamin Cottage Natural Food Markets, DBA Natural Grocers, located at 916 Lodge Lane in Woodland Park. The applicant has a current sales tax license and federal identification number. They are eligible to apply for a liquor license. The location is eligible to be licensed. The owner is Vitamin Cottage Natural Food Markets, DBA Natural Grocers. Possession of the property is documented by a lease through March 15th, 2033. The factual findings are the application was submitted on January 16th, 2019. The property was posted on April 1st, 2019, and a public notice was published in the April 4th and April 10th edition of the Courier. The character of the applicant is not an issue for this hearing, and operation of the business is in compliance with local zoning, building, and fire regulations. All applicable fees have been paid. A petition proving the needs and desires of the neighborhood containing the signatures of 90 business owners and residents in support of granting this liquor license. This evening, Kevin Coates from Dill and Max Scott, who administered the petition for the applicant, are both here if you guys have any questions.
Terrific, thank you. Sir, if you can certainly comment if you like. If you want to take a minute and...
Thank you. Honorable Mayor, members of the council acting as local licensor. My name is Kevin Coates. I appreciate that. I'm from Dill and my registration number is 25995. We do have Gerard Franklin, who's present here tonight. He's the assistant manager at the Natural Grocers, and Max Scott is present as well. I can make a very short presentation, but I would ask that I'd be able to ask one question here to see if there's anybody here in opposition. It greatly shortens my presentation if in fact we don't have anyone here in opposition. If we can ask that question, and
I think you can greatly shorten your presentation.
If no one's here in opposition, then
I could state, Mayor, this clerk's office received no protests.
No protests at all.
Very good. Well, Natural Grocers, just to let you know what they're doing essentially here, the intent here is to stock essentially and display kombucha, if you've heard of that product, as well as a gluten-free beer and organic beer, consistent with the other type of products that are held within the Natural Grocers as an organic facility. We're not talking about the mainstream beer products. We will have some high-end craft beers, but mostly it's going to be the things I just described: kombucha and gluten-free and organic beer products. There's a need and desire has been shown by Mr. Scott's petition that you have a copy of, and certainly if you would wanted to know and ask, Mr. Franklin can discuss. They have a training program associated with TIPS training for all management, as well as a computer-based module training program associated with making sure that alcohol sales are in compliance with the law. The law is now you have to card everybody over the age of 50, essentially, and they'll have signage. I'm sorry, under the age of 50. And I asked that question. Not over the age, under the age. Thank you, Mr. Scott. I get carded. I'm 49 and a half, so they've made clear that that's the case. But they do have signage that they'll post up at the front, and it's that new recent state signage that's been given. It's a publicly traded company up the chain. Nothing in the background of a moral character issue is described. So I think that kind of outlines a prima facie case and hopefully a short enough presentation. But without anybody here in opposition, we'd ask that the license be granted. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Questions, council?
I'm just impressed at the 90 signatures. I've never heard anything like that before. That's amazing. Good job.
Just one question for me. And first of all, welcome to Woodland Park. Already have made a big impact. People are thrilled that you all are here How many locations do you have this kind of liquor license, percentage-wise, of all your locations?
So I believe there's somewhere in the ballpark of about 35 stores here in Colorado. We're rolling this out for 33 of them. There's a few of them that are not eligible for it for certain reasons. But 33, and I think at this point we've obtained somewhere in the ballpark of about 15 to 18 approvals. And we have some still to file and some still to set. But I was in, for instance, Monument here earlier in the week. And the goal is to obtain 33 licenses here within the year.
Great. Well, thank you for your presentation. We are in public comment. If anybody would like to step forward and comment right now.
I asked one question, and I don't mean to put anybody on the spot. It's not about a liquor license. And I deeply appreciate that the grocery wouldn't walk a great asset that wouldn't walk to have. But I would like to ask, your retaining wall that that's damaged.
I don't know if that's, excuse me one second, Paul. I don't think that's appropriate right now, but I'm going to find out from our attorney and make sure.
Yeah, if we could finish the public hearing and then we could ask that question afterwards.
Like I say, I deeply appreciate you working with anybody.
And we can have that conversation offline also. Anybody in the audience before we close public comment relative to this issue? Sir, if you'd like to, feel free. Come up and give us your name and address.
So I believe Mr. Franklin wanted to, he's talking about the wall too, so
Okay.
so I thought maybe
We will do that now. We can do that offline sometime. Okay? Okay, so public comment, we're going to close. Council, do we have any other questions for the applicant?
What is gluten-free beer?
I don't know. But it's like other gluten-free products. I think
No rye.
No rye. There you go. Mr. Scott has the answer.
All right, thank you.
Anything else? Okay, if not, public hearing's closed, and we'll call for a motion.
Motion to approve liquor application for Vitamin Cottage Natural Grocer Markets as presented.
Second.
And a second. Thank you. I think Paul got it first.
Okay, thank you.
Suzanne?
Labar?
Yes.
Levy?
Yes.
Saunier?
Yes.
Sawyer?
Yes.
Case?
Yes.
Harvey?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much.
And if I may, maybe I could close that gap now that should I have Mr. Franklin as well as General Counsel, who I answer to, maybe contact the city manager regarding the retaining wall? Is that something that or is that who to?
Yes.
That'd be a great next step.
Yeah, that'd be the next step. But
Yeah.
we certainly
Thank you.
haven't heard that before. We'll do that.
Sally?
Sally's been involved in the discussion already.
I just wanted to say staff has already been in communication with the natural grocers. The wall was accidentally hit during the large snowstorm and by their contract snow remover. And we have addressed, it's going to get addressed very soon.
Great. Thank you, Sally.
No problem. I don't know what gluten-free beer is, so I appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Thank
for your
you.
time, folks.
Thanks
Have a
for
great
being
night.
here.
Take care.
Yeah, we know.
Okay, no rye. Remember that. All right, we have no new business tonight, and so we'll move on to reports and mayor's report. I only have a couple of things. Saturday, April 27th is the annual Kids Fest at the UPass Cultural Center. from 9 to 12. And I think council, we all got this, but I'll just make the announcement again. The spring cleanup, and we'll announce it. We'll have one more meeting before the spring cleanup. Will be Saturday, June 8th. And Keep Woodland Park Beautiful does an amazing job in that. And our whole community kind of chimes in on that. Hopefully we get great weather. Seems like we had snow on that day last year, or right around that day. So we'll look forward to that. And that's all I've got. Kelly?
I have nothing, thank you, Your Honor.
Carol? Hillary?
Nothing, thank you.
Oh. Thank you. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
No? Okay, we'll move on to Jason.
I'll follow council's lead and say nothing to add.
Let's see if that happens one more time. City manager?
I just wanted to bring up a couple things that are in planning and scheduled, and then I want to defer some of my report to some of the staff. First, as you may know, we hired a new event center coordinator for the UPCC. You also may know that we're completing construction on the flooring in UPCC. It's starting to look really, really nice. If you haven't been in there, I'd encourage you shortly after the construction. How much more time do you have? Probably about 3 or 4 days left in the process, and then it needs to cure, right?
Yes, we actually have to be done by tomorrow afternoon because we have an event coming up, so we'll go through the curing process overnight prior to that. So the whole floor will be done. We'll just need to do some final trim work around there and then put the lights back in.
And it's looking phenomenal. It really is looking phenomenal if you've not been in there. So we've spoken and started working with Nicole already. Some of the things that will be changing are we're looking at our existing policies that we have in place for the usage of the facility and the pavilion, and how we can make that more consistent and across all of the for-profit and non-profits that use that facility, including the government users of that facility. And so that's something we're going to be working on up until probably July 1st. We want to give all of those organizations enough time to understand what we're proposing and provide feedback so that they understand what the potential impact is, and if we need to modify that policy, we will. One of the other things I wanted to touch base on is we're having our first community meeting that will support the strategic planning for City Council on April 25th from 5:30 to 7:30 at the UPass Cultural Center. Really focused on our residents coming and providing input to City Council. So if there's any ideas that maybe you don't have already in terms of your priorities, you can hear that from our community, and hopefully that can help shape your priorities. And then we'll have our retreat, I believe is on May 20th with staff and City Council. And then we'll finish the process after we've come up with a draft strategic plan and talk to our residents again on May 28th from 5:30 to 7:30 at UPass Cultural Center again. Just get some final feedback before we finalize that draft.
The meeting that is going to occur next week with citizens, that was not in the original plan, was it? And
No, it was added, correct.
And what was the cost of that, to add it?
It ended up being, I believe, $2,500.
Thank you.
Yes. It wasn't one of the original portions of it, but it was asked by several city council members to include it.
I think it's important.
So, yeah. In the end, it's going to be an opportunity to really get some. We're hoping there is a conflict. I believe there's a John Tesh concert that night, but we hope that there is the residents will come early on and provide comments to City Council before they go to the concert, so that we can get as much input as we possibly can. And Cheryl Trent, our facilitator, will be there to help to capture that information and get it into a digestible document that City Council can use during the retreat. Any questions related to strategic planning? Okay. Okay.
7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so we'll start at 7 in the morning and end at 3. So the intent is so that we'll have a working breakfast and work through, because several city council members have obligations after 3 o'clock. So the intent was to get it done and just be a really productive meeting. We'll have a working lunch as well, and get as much of that codified in a draft document as possible before moving on. So, okay. I want to defer to Mike Farina for a portion of our report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just wanted to update you on the audit for the 2018 financial statements. The auditors were here last week and spent the whole week out here doing their field work. Now they're back in their office drafting our financial statements. We were planning on having it completed by April 30th in line with the charter requirement. There is a possibility that they won't be done. It's just dependent on the auditors getting the statements drafted, but it wouldn't be much more than a week after April 30th. Then we would have, once they're completed and drafted, that would meet the requirements. The auditors will be here probably second meeting in May to present them. I expect a clean audit. Everything went smoothly during the audit. I was made aware of no audit findings, so look forward to the auditor's report.
And Mike, real quick, if you could, just the circumstances.
Well, what happened is our financial software went down for about a week, so that I had to delay the auditors coming by a week, and that set us back. So, but we're still hopeful it will be done by April 30.
I can vouch for Mike that if the software's down, you might as well just stay home. So there were some extenuating circumstances that fortunately didn't happen and were resolved with backup. So that was a godsend. Recreating records can be quite time-consuming and tedious. So very fortunate in that respect. So good job. And I would just ask if maybe you could share with the council at your convenience what the draft general fund balance unreserved might be.
I'll just say that
doesn't have to be now.
Revenues exceeded expectations, and expenditures, as they usually are, came in under budget.
Excellent. Thank you.
The second thing is I wanted to prepare council for an upcoming supplemental appropriation. Obviously, the appropriation will have more details in it, but this is a usual amendment to the budget for items that were budgeted or accounted for in 2018 that weren't completed. So we have several items that need to be carried forward. For example, we have the broadband expenditure budgeted in 2018. It did not get completed or even started in 2018. So we'll bring that forward as a carryover into 2019's budget. There was some police grants. The salary survey also, we were going to get that started in 2018. As you know now, the work is being done in 2019, so we'll carry that over. And then there's some other items that will be detailed in the supplemental appropriation that will be coming forward. Another one is the dog park that you heard tonight. So that's another item that was not budgeted in the 2019 budget, but it's definitely going to be budgeted with revenues. So that's my part of this.
Anything else from Mike? Thank you, sir.
Thank
you very much.
Does any other staff have any comments? I will tell you that we will have an executive session after this to bring City Council up to date on the Kelsey Barrett investigation. So that'll Chief DeYoung.
Great. Thank you, sir. Okay. We will move forward then. We're going to go upstairs and have our work session. Certainly everybody is invited if they'd like to. We're going to just get an update from our city manager on the progress of the salary survey, which is not quite complete, and a short executive session. So for now, we will move upstairs. If there's anyone here when we come back, we will adjourn the meeting here. If not, we will adjourn it upstairs. Thank you all for being here.